Hey, how's it going? John Dorsey here with Trucking with John D channel. And I want to talk about how, from the eyes of your employer, the eyes of the executives at your trucking company, drivers' time, the work that drivers put in, your time isn't worth more than $1 an hour. And the only reason why we get more than $1 an hour is because it'd be criminal to pay you wages that low. It'll be a crime to try to get away with paying drivers a pay rate that's so low. So they pay you enough to make it a come up for those who aren't used to making a average income for the education level they have. Now there are some smart, well-educated drivers out here, but truck driving is a resource, is a tool, is a outlet, is a platform, is a method for those who uh, wouldn't be able to make this kind of money otherwise to get a job where they can make, 40, 35, 45, $50,000 a year their first year with about a year experience, fresh out the gate without, a college degree. But what do we sacrifice for that? What do we sacrifice to earn that? Our time, the most precious thing we have, the one thing we'll never get back. And only one that respects our time is ourselves. Our company doesn't respect our time. They sure don't respect the work we do, but they definitely don't respect our time. Because if they did, they wouldn't bait and switch drivers. They wouldn't, tell you we're going to pay you X amount of dollars an hour, but fail to tell you that, by the way, that's straight time. We ain't paying you any overtime like everybody else who gets paid by the hour. Or we're going to give you a low rate per mile while while the company makes 70, 80, 90, even $1 per mile, and they give the driver 30, 35. And if you're really balling, 40 cents a mile. And we think we're doing great. If you're a company driver, you're making 40 cents, 45 cents a mile, even 50 cents a mile. What do you think? You think that all of a sudden these trucking companies are making more money now they can afford to pay truck drivers 50 cents a mile? No. They always had that. They always was able to pay us 50 cents a mile. It's just now the industry the industry is demanding a higher pay because drivers aren't willing to do the work anymore for that low wage. So like I said in the beginning, from the perspective of a company owner, and sure, there might be some company owners out there, the small fleets, those who have been in the driver's seat, those who have sacrificed and spent, their time, sacrificed time away from their families, sacrificed their lives to get in that driver's seat for years and years and years, and then they start their own trucking company and hire on drivers. They understand the struggle. They understand what it takes to be out there 5, 6, 7 days a week, 12 to 14 hours a day. Sometimes, I would say usually more, but logging 14 hours a day. And they tend to pay their drivers at least better than your big corporate, your big trucking companies. But that's not to say that your small fleets or your small, they'll try to cheat you too. There's plenty of stories out there where 5 truck fleet, 6 truck fleet, 10 truck fleet, where their drivers don't get paid, or the owner tell them, wait till next week to cash your check. So what do we do about that? Do we keep just jumping from company to company, hoping that this next company will pay us right? Do we keep jumping from company to company in hopes that we find a place that we can deal with the BS for just enough money to keep us happy and satisfied? And a lot of drivers cop out and say, well, that's why I went to a union where I get a fair wage. I get paid well. I get paid overtime. But that's a sacrifice too. I used to work for a union carrier also. And the BS you got to put up with just to make, $21 an hour, $22 an hour plus overtime, that's ridiculous too. Why should we have to put up with the nonsense of being part of a union, the politics of the union to get paid right, to get paid for the work we do, to get paid for the time we put in, to get paid for the skill we have, getting freight, we have a lot of responsibility that a lot of people take for granted. We're operating hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment between the tractor and the trailer. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then the freight on there can range anywhere from tens of thousands to millions of dollars of freight. So we run down the highway with millions of dollars of property under our signature. When we sign the bill of lading, that's turning over ownership from the shipper to us, to the courier or the individual driver with the name on that piece of paper. Once you don't stop being responsible for that freight until the receiver puts their name on that piece of paper. So we're responsible from the time we issue that truck and that trailer and sign for that freight. We're responsible for all that. We get paid like minimum wage McDonald's workers. The person working the fry machine or putting the burgers together isn't responsible for hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars of equipment. The fryer or the whatever they make the burger patties in. I never worked there, but however they do things back there, they're not responsible for each individual piece of equipment. They're not signing their name on, every time they work in the machine, they're not signing off on, okay, I'm working the machine for the next 30 minutes. My signature's on it. If something happens, I'm responsible. No, but we do. We are signing basically all we have away when this is why we have to have insurance. This is why you have to be insurable to work for a trucking company, or you have to be insurable if you want to be your own operator working for yourself. Because if something happens, that freight has to be covered. Because obviously, we couldn't pay for the cost of the equipment damage and the lost freight out of our pocket. And that's my proof that we're responsible. We're responsible, but yet we're getting cheated from a wage compensation standpoint when we are the key piece of the logistics puzzle. Because really all that's required to get the freight from the shipper to the receiver and to the end user is the shipper, the driver, the receiver, and then a driver again, and then another receiver. That's it. We don't need trucking companies. We don't need brokers. We don't need all these middlemen who have their hands in our pockets, unnecessary pieces to this puzzle. But yet we get the smaller piece on the grand scheme of things, we get the smaller piece. When you look at the bigger picture, sure, an owner operator can pull six figures, but if we can get paid six figures, that means somebody else is getting paid double or triple what we're making. So that's just something to keep in mind, and comment below with ideas on how to really get this wage thing figured out or fixed. Are we going to just keep jumping from company to company because we're not getting the pay we deserve? When you know what you're worth, when you know your value, when you know that your driving record is clean, you know that you have at least a 99% on time deliveries. You're professional. You're courteous. The shipper happy. The shippers and receivers are happy to see you. When you know that you're representing the company you work for in a very professional way, not only the company, but you're representing yourself in a very professional way, but yet you feel like you're being paid in a way that doesn't reflect that, then you have to do something about that. So that's all I got to say. If you got some value out of this, like it, share it, subscribe to my channel, and leave some comments below on what some of your ideas might be. But it's time for some change to happen. So I'll talk to you again later.